Hey everybody, Max here. Today we're going to be taking a look at this G.I. Joe Classified series, Leatherneck. This is definitely one of my all-time favorite G.I. Joe characters. I had him as a kid, the original O-ring, and I'm really glad to have him in the Classified series, and I think they did a pretty good job overall with the design of this character, with the design of this figure. He comes with what you see here. We'll go into the accessories and everything, but he's got everything. All the accessories are on him with the exception of he comes with two fists. So it has that. Looking at the package, I don't think I haven't had any, haven't said anything about the packaging for any of the G.I. Joe because I don't spend a lot of time talking about it. It's not all that important to me, but I just wanted to say that I do like this new window packaging as well as a smaller profile. I think it's kind of a good mixture of, kind of best of both worlds, I guess. Pretty cool artwork for our lovable Marine here. And I really like the photos on the back of this one. And, I'm hoping to get dial tone here pretty soon. Some reviews are already out. I'll be doing the Saw Viper here in a second. So be on the lookout for that guy. And I got to say, I'm very curious with this kind of Millennium Falcon looking thing on the back here. I don't know if this is a part of the Inner John universe or what have you, but this is a really cool photo. And so I'm curious as to what the story is with this piece of technology. So it doesn't ring a bell, doesn't remind me of anything from the Marvel Comics line or the IDW line. Or even the ongoing Skybound series. So I'm a big Joe comic fan. So that's the package, and it is what it is. Get that off to the side, and we'll talk about the character, dive into what he comes with. So he comes with this backpack, which is, we've seen it before. This is Ricondo's backpack, and which is fine. I kind of have a hate relationship with the backpacks of G.I. Joe Classified. Well, maybe it's more like frustration hate instead of a love-hate relationship. They're sometimes just too dang heavy, and they sometimes don't fit very well. And this one, initially, it took some, I think the peg is just a tad bit too long. So it kind of, I can tell it's already in there all the way, and there's a gap. But it stays on there at least. So, but anyway, I don't typically display my figures with backpacks simply because of how heavy they typically are, and they have a tendency to fall over. So I can't recall what the backpack looked like or if it even came with one, the original figures. But like I said, this is Ricondo's, and they did add a little paint so to differentiate it. So that comes with that. It comes with this cover. So he's a Marine, and it's got some paint there with the not U.S. Marine Corps symbol on it because I don't think Hasbro has the rights to recreate that. I had to heat up the cover to make it adhere to his head a little bit. It didn't quite fit properly when I got him out of the box, so I heated it up and pushed it down as far as I could and just let it cool off, and now it's molded fairly well and it sits very well on his head. He comes with glasses. They're opaque. I mean, they're not crystal clear or anything, but I also had to heat these up a little bit because they were a little too wide for his head. And, with these figures, anything that doesn't have a recess molded into the head, doesn't have a groove or something to slide into that's going to hold it in place, it's not going to stay very well. And this figure is no different. So I did heat them up a little bit, and I've done it a couple of times. I've been trying to get them to kind of mold, just to hold its shape a little more closed, so that it will clamp onto his head and stay there. But the original figure, I think the glasses were molded onto his head sculpt. So as well as the hat. So it's kind of cool that we now get to take the hat and the glasses off and see what the dude looks like underneath there. And pretty good. Yeah, he kind of has a weathered look to him, like, he's a little bit older. Maybe he's one of the older Joes, but he doesn't have any gray in his hair. But I gotta say, I didn't notice this in the initial promo pictures, but He's got 5 o'clock shadow, but it's not, it's more like just a dusting of gray or of hair there. So around his jawline and his chin. And then he also has it on his neck. So you might not be able to see that. But I wasn't aware of that until I got it out, and I was like, oh, hey, that's a pretty cool little extra piece of detail there. And so, yeah, I don't think I've seen that on any other figure. So that's pretty cool. And he kind of has a rosy complexion. His kind of red in the cheeks, red around the eyes a little bit. I don't know if that means he's sleep deprived or what, but you know, I like the hair. It kind of looks like his hair is a little combed over a little bit. Maybe he's been, you know, out in the field. Well, it's just meant to look like he's got hat head. So, and his hair is receding a little bit. So that's an interesting piece of little detail there. And so, yeah, overall, I really like it. I think it's a unique look for the guy. I think it also captures the look that he had with the original figure, as well as how he was portrayed in the comic book. So, and I got a lot of fun playing with my original Leatherneck. So I really liked him and Gung-ho, and got those guys as soon as I could when they came out initially. So he comes with this his standard weapon, which is I think he came with this, something similar to this, M16 with an M203 grenade launcher underneath. Magazine drops out. There's hardly any retention on this magazine, so just be aware of that. I think the extension is just a little too short, but I hope I don't lose it. It only comes with one magazine, and it is very sturdy. So I did not even have to, I don't think I had to heat this one up. I think it was straight right out of the box. And it has some portholes for blast effects too. So, so yeah, this is a unique weapon. I don't think we've seen this before. It's unique to him, and I think it's great. And I think they recreated it very well. He comes with a nice knife that we have seen before with a few other characters. I think Outback has this knife, and maybe Snake Eyes and Tunnel Rat, and so nothing we haven't seen before with that. He comes with this, what looks like a SIG P320, if I'm not mistaken, with a reflex sight on the top, red dot, porthole for blast effects, and a extended magazine. The handle is, the grip is a little too thin, but it fits perfectly in his hand. So, but that's what this particular firearm looks like to me, which I think the Army may have started using this a few years ago. They went from the Beretta to the I think it was like the Beretta 92 to this 6-hour P320, if I'm not mistaken. So it comes with that, and it fits in very well and snugly in his thigh holster. He comes with this other, no, this I think was molded onto the original figure. I don't really know what this is, if this is supposed to be a radio. I mean, it looks like this is an antenna, so I'm assuming, and it has dials and everything, so I'm assuming this is some kind of communication device. But it's you can remove it if you don't want it, and the holster is attached. This is all one piece attached to the belt. This you can take all the way off if you wanted to, but I'm not really sure. This looks like a molded magazine holder, like for the pistol, but I'm not quite sure what this cord is supposed to be for. I was not a Marine. I don't know if this is unique to the Marine Corps. Please, somebody tell me in the comments if they know what this is. I would really appreciate it. And if you were a Marine, thank you for your service. If you served in any armed service, thank you for your service. I really appreciate that. Let's see. It's got his rank insignia on one arm and a unit patch, I guess. If you know what that is specifically, please let me know as well. The paint overall is really good. The camo, no real complaints on the camo. And the color of the vest. So as near as I can tell, he is original from the waist up. So, which I gotta say, I'm surprised considering the original figure had his sleeves came down, they were rolled up to the forearm. So since they went with this short sleeve look, they could have just as easily have given us Ricondo's arms again, and yet they didn't. So these are all new arms, as near as I can tell. I've compared it to Recondo on the shoulder piece. There's like zippers and seams and everything, and little pockets on both sides, and the folds where it rolls up. As near as I can tell, these are completely new arms, as well as this overlay. So the knife fits good retention here. Some painted on grenades, some painted, some pouches. The only problem with the paint is his rank insignia. Right there is the gold is a little off center, but they did a pretty good job on this side. So I'm going to attempt to correct that, and so wish me luck. I might strip that off and try to repaint it and see how well I can do with my customization skills. And the original figure had this molded on silver bracelet. I don't know what that represents, but it's free floating. It's not molded on there, and it does not stay on very well. So just be aware of that. It comes off all the time. So more than likely, I'm going to put it into a pouch or a Ziploc bag and put it into a bin and forget about it. So yeah, so really good. Paint-wise and everything, I think it looks really good. From the waist down, these are airborne legs, which I initially, I kind of think they're close enough to what his original legs looked like. I was a little kind of skeptical, like, does this really fit the character? But, it is what it is, I guess. They don't look bad. These are by far not bad legs. However, if you have airborne, I noticed that I think this is the first figure that I have reused airborne's legs, and as near as I can recall. And it was a little kind of wobbly right here in the hip joint, on the left one in particular, and the knees are crazy tight, just really, really stiff. I had to heat this guy up 2 or 3 times to really break loose particularly the upper part of the knee. So just kind of be aware of that you may have to, and I do the boil and pop method, so I don't like using a hair dryer because I've scorched other figures. So just be aware of that. And just for comparison, here's my airborne figure, and of course they are just different colored legs. And like I said, they're good legs, just really tight. And this guy, I may have to put him back in the bath. He's been sitting on my shelf for a while. So yeah. Well, here I am. Maybe they were just cold. I don't know. Maybe it's been cold in the house. But last time I took this guy off the shelf, I really had a hard time getting these knees to work. So anyway, and I got to say that just as an aside, Airborne was probably my #1 favorite figure of 2024. So this is a really great figure. And even though he's new, he's got new parts and reused parts. Leatherneck has some new and reused parts. So, so yeah, his knees are a little bit on the stiff side, but I heated them up. They should be good there. The arms were a little stiff as well, but they're doing okay. I heated them up, and they're moving just fine now. So he doesn't have much of a butterfly joint to speak of. I don't know if the torso is from somewhere else or some other figure, but I do think the overlay is really good. I do wish that Hasbro would get to a point where we could just snap them off, the overlays, the vests and everything, so just to make it easier to take them off and everything. But who knows if we'll ever get that. They'll probably jack up the price $5 if they did that. So articulation is the standard stuff. He looks down. He actually doesn't look down very well. He only looks down that far. And the overlay kind of gets a little bit in the way. And he has, let's get his head off. So yeah, he's got the ball joint like pretty much everything from Classified nowadays. Sorry with the focus. So I'll probably have to take some material out to improve the range of motion on this guy. Really good T-pose. I call it's almost a Y pose. Arms go all the way around, double jointed pinless. He's got the vertical hinge on the right arm, or right wrist, and horizontal on the left. And this is a detachable watch, which is really cool. It is set to I think it's 1900 hours, which is 7 o'clock in the evening. So that's a nice little touch there. So I like that. Just be careful when you're taking the wrists off. That might fly off on you. And one kind of complaint, I mean, obviously with the overlay, you're not going to get much forward bend or backward bend. You're not going to get much at all. And you do get some side to side waist swivel right there. And in doing so, you kind of stretch the plastic and it gets a little loose. So just kind of be aware of that. Take care of your action figures, guys, and they'll take care of you. So, okay. Splits, really good. Drop down hips. He kicks forward about 90 degrees. The drop down a little bit higher. Double jointed pinless knees. Like we said, we got the airborne legs. Thigh swivel, really solid. And this strap does not hinder anything, even though it covers up the thigh swivel and it moves when you move the legs. So just kind of be aware of that. And like Airborne's legs, it doesn't have a shin swivel, but it does have an ankle swivel. So that's pretty good. It feels a little gummy, not like on the Airborne figure. So these ankles feel a little gummy. So I've been kind of trying to be careful with them. But feet, if you have Airborne, you're familiar with the feet. They back and forward, rock around the clock. And that is our standard articulation that we see through most of our G.I. Joe Classified figures. And like I said, that's Leatherneck. There's not much to him when you think about it. He's just kind of a regular old Joe, but he's still one of those, in my mind, he's definitely one of the more popular / famous ones and everything. And if you were curious as to why I had him about to slug Outback and why Outback had a knife on him, in the comic book, Leatherneck was very dedicated to the Joe team and very protective, and he was very suspicious. And so Outback went on a mission with Stalker, Snowjob, and Quick Kick, and he was the only one to make it back. The rest of the team was wounded. Stalker ordered him to escape. They were behind the Iron Curtain, and Stalker wanted him to get out and get the story out there. And so he gets back to the team, and he's the only one that survived, so to speak. Everybody else is captured, and Leatherneck starts accusing him of abandoning the team. And he steps up on Outback, and Outback pulls a knife on him. And he basically says, "Don't even think about threatening me." And Leatherneck backs off. And honest and truly, that is one of my favorite scenes in the entire Marvel comic run, is when Outback "I'm not taking your crap." And so he gets that Leatherneck to back off. So love both these characters. This is actually my very first G.I. Joe Classified figure. So he started the addiction. And so anyway, if you were wondering why I had that in the thumbnail, that's why. So anyway, guys, really good figure. I'm going to give this guy a warp factor of 9. He's kind of basic in a way in terms of accessories and everything, but it fits the guy. I mean, we've seen characters with more, we've maybe seen some characters with less, but if you like the character, I think this is a really good representation of him. I think you'll be pleased. So warp factor of 9. Let me know what you think in the comments. And yeah, hope you're having a great day, and I'll talk to you guys next time.